What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 7 to the Sky. Guys, I just got done recording basically an entire episode. We did a lot of cool things. Unfortunately, Windows Update updated my computer and updated my sound drivers, and my recording software is like, oh, yeah, I don't know how to record sound anymore. So I have a whole bunch of video recorded with no audio. It's awful. So we're going to do a little bit of show and tell, I think, for the start of this episode here, so we can get some things done. Straight away, you might notice over here, we have some machines. Yeah, so I went ahead and I upgraded some of our Mekanism machines here to the advanced version of the factories. This way we have 5 slots available. All of these machines have been upgraded with the energy and the speed upgrades. Or at least the existing ones that we had previously. This advanced infusing factory here, this one had 4 speed upgrades, and I filled that up to 8, and we have 8 of the energy upgrades. These 3 new ones, we have not put any upgrades in just yet. We haven't done anything with them just yet. We did add an advanced smelting factory. This way we can start smelting things through applied energistics. So for instance, when we need glass for all of our different applied energistics cabling, we can get glass. Yeah. We also set up a new material stonework factory here. This one is just producing sand, and that is just connected to the same pipe or other material stonework factories that are making silicon and stone. Same pipe. And up here we have a compacting drawer where we are storing all of our sand. Yeah. So we had a bunch of compressed sand. This is stuff that I'd done manually, and I tried crafting something that required sand, and the system was like, oh, I don't have any. So yeah, I set up the material stonework. I put this compacting drawer down, and then I saw that we had some of the compressed sand. I added that into here, and now we have lots of sand available to our system, which is great. Another thing that I have done here is I added a second diamond upgrade to our flux sieve. This way we are now doubling the amount of stuff that we are producing. It is now, according to this tooltip, doing 32 items per process cycle. So that is also costing us, what is this, 1024 RF per tick, I guess is what that is. I set this a little bit higher just to make sure our power stays full all the time. As we saw with these machines previously, if I set that to the exact amount it says, we start losing power for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. And since this is using twice the amount of resource, that means we had to upgrade this one too to keep up with the gravel. So yes, this one is also making, or I guess using 1024 RF per tick. So with those changes over there, that was starting to add a bit to our RF usage down here. I noticed that our magmatic dynamos, this one is completely empty, and we have like 3 of them on this side, right? I say empty of power, which means they're going full blast. They aren't throttling anymore. So we have 4 of them that are completely unthrottled, and then we have a few of them still that are throttled, which have the power inside. They're only outputting 10% of their maximum output. And with that done, we are still gaining lava over here, which is fantastic. But we aren't gaining it very fast anymore. And if we start cranking up our other dynamos, I'm afraid that we're going to start losing lava. That kind of got me down the path where I wanted to make more lava, more superheating elements, which requires steel. The superheating element, this guy, requires a steel casing, which requires steel. And I wanted to set up a way that we can automate this. So that was one of the reasons why we set up these other infusers over here, right? But we haven't done anything with this just yet. We kind of got sidetracked, or at least in the video that you guys aren't seeing, we got sidetracked in doing some applied energistics stuff. So I upgraded our ME controller here. It is fully done. I had to add 44 more controllers here. Completely not necessary to do this. And then I decided it was worthwhile for us to start into getting some P2P going. So we added in our P2P tunnels. We made auto crafting for those. And then I hooked up our ME dense cables, which are separated using these cable anchors so they're not touching anywhere. And then we have these P2P tunnels connected through this cable here to the controller right there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these P2Ps all connected through this one cable into the controller and then mirrored on the other side. Oh, you know what? This is a mistake. I missed a P2P. Huh. Okay, I'll have to fix that. Yeah, that should not be connected like that. And then this is mirrored on the other side like so. I have cleaned up the cables that we had here, and we are using black cables now for carrying our P2P channels. You can see our 32 auto crafting units here are all being provided those channels through that one P2P, and that's just going through this normal black cable here. So we are using 2 channels from the controller along this line, one for a P2P here, and then the other P2P is way over there. I guess we can go take a look at how this is hooked up. That would be on this side over here. So yeah, out of that wall, we have this cable coming down here, and then we terminate at this white dense ME smart cable. Yeah, so then we have 2 channels being used over that way. Okay, and I've done the same thing on these other wings of the base or platforms, however you want to describe it. So yeah, we're using the P2P here for just the one channel, and that connects over to our drawers over here. Yep, so we have that all set up and in place. That is great for infrastructure going forward. And then again, over on this side, this is where we're using the most amount of channels. So we have the P2P right here at the wall. We are using 10 channels in total here. So we have a dense cable that splits off. These goes over to our machines, our Mekanism machines we were just looking at a moment ago up here, our advanced crushing factory and stuff like that. And then this other one comes over here into our sifting operation. And I think this is for our smeltery. Yeah, so that's what we've done. It was a lot of work to get that done. Hopefully the show and tell did that justice. Is that blood in there? The heck, how did blood get in that casting basin? Let's fix it. Okay, so we don't have any more blood in there. So yeah, I wanted to set up our advanced enriching factories over here. I wanted to set these up so we can start making steel. Probably one of the first things we should do instead of just jumping right into that is making the upgrades for those other 3 infusers. So if we grab some upgrade here, we want to make, it's 8 per machine and we have 3 machines. So we need 24 of these upgrades. So we'll craft those, and we need 24 of these upgrades as well. So everything's auto-craftable. We're using that crusher over there to crush gold ingots into gold dust. And for the speed upgrades, crushing osmium ingots into osmium dust as well. So yeah, we have that stuff all auto-craftable now, which is fantastic. And these only stack to 8, so let's grab those and these. Awesome. Right, so now we can come over here and upgrade this machine, that machine, and this one, and this one, this one, and that one. So we have auto sort turned on all of these, and I believe their settings should be, yeah, input, output, auto eject on should be set up on all of these. So these are all ready to go for the different infusing. So what we need to do at this point, we need to get the special material coming into here. We need like carbon in this one and redstone in this one. And then we can set up these other 2 a little bit later. But once we get these 2 set up, like setting those up later will be easy. We already set up patterns here to make the enriched carbon, enriched redstone, enriched diamond, which we can't do yet, and the enriched obsidian, which we can't do yet. We've already set these patterns up. So Applied Energistics knows how to craft those. Now we just need to be able to provide those items and have those go into these machines. So I think probably the best way to do that is we're going to need to get ourselves an interface to provide those items. And we have that on auto craft, so we'll just craft one of those up. So we have an interface, and then the pipes mod has a couple of things that will help us out. So we have a filter destination tool. We're going to need one of these. That requires some kind of a button. Do we have any planks? We have oak planks. Let's make a wood button here. And then we'll make this guy. Awesome. Okay, so we have the filter destination tool, and then we're going to use universal pipes. The universal pipe will allow us to carry fluid, energy, and item. The only thing we really care about is the energy and item at the same time. Well, it looks like we can auto craft that, so let's just craft all of those things up. Sweet, that's already done. And we'll just make 12 of those. That should be more than enough. Okay, so the way that's going to work is we need these machines here to accept items and power from the back. So we're going to swap those out for these universal... Oh, you know what? I didn't know these didn't connect. Okay, so I guess we're going to swap all of these pipes out. Like so. Okay, I need to get a wrench to re-get power into the system here. There we go. And then that needs an upgrade on there. So we're extracting lots of power out. Very good. So these machines here, let's set up the carbon one first. So we'll do a side config and we will do infuse types. We'll reset everything. We'll do the back as an input. Yeah, I think that's how we're going to set these all up. And then I'll also do the redstone one as well. So infuse types, do this back input. Very good. Okay, so now we need to get ourselves a interface here. We were using 7 channels, I do believe. Let's just go double check real quick. But yeah, if we come down here and we look at this guy, yeah, we're using 7 of 8 channels. So we can easily put that interface over here and still be good on our applied energistics channels. So if we just put the interface back here, let's stick it right here. Very good. And then we will set this to an extract. It's just grabbing the channels through a pattern provider on the other side of that. So this should be ready to go. We're going to need a crafting card here, and then we're going to have to set the different items that we wanted to craft. I don't think we've made a crafting card yet, so let's get that made real quick. Crafting a card. Whoop. We can go ahead and craft that up. I don't think it knows how to make a basic card, huh? Okay, we'll make a recipe for basic card. Maybe we should make a recipe for the crafting card too. That way I never have to make another one again manually. And we'll just throw these into here. Okay, so if I say crafting card, we put that away. This. Awesome. And then we're going to need infused or enriched these. Okay, very good. So over to our pattern provider, or I'm sorry, our interface here. We're going to put carbon there and we're going to put redstone here. You know what? I'm going to change this. You can change it by clicking that button. Let's set this down to like 8. We don't need like a crazy amount in here. And we'll change this one to 8 as well. So I'll provide up to 8. And if there isn't 8 there, if we put this crafting card in, it should tell applied energistics, hey, we need 8 of these. Go ahead and start crafting them. And there we go. Now we have 8 of those. All right, so all of those are now set up. We need the pipe here to do a filtered destination. So we need this filtered destination tool. I'm going to shift right click on the back of this guy. So the destination is set. We come into here. Oh, I need an upgrade. Do I have an upgrade in my pouch? I do actually. We can use this one. All right, so now that we have the upgrade in here, we can whitelist, add. We're going to say carbon, or you can type in the thing if you want to type it. Having the item is just easier. So we'll do carbon and we'll put the filter destination tool here. And that's saying the destination is at this location. We do submit. So that should be extracting carbon into here. Should be. Oh, this is set to the west block. Okay, hold on a second. I might need to like change that. I'm not sure if I have made a mistake here. 1 second. Okay, I see the mistake that I made here. So on the side config, on the items config, I had to set the extra, or I guess the back to the extra slot. I thought I had to go to the infuse types and set that as an input, but like these didn't really make any difference. So I'm not sure what the infuse types is all about. But anyway, it's the extra yellow set to the back got this to work. So yeah, this is now filling up the carbon, and that is filling up the enriched carbon. So let's set up this one together with the redstone. So I will do a shift right click onto this. Let's grab a redstone out of this one, and we'll do a new filter. So we'll add this one to here, submit, and then I'll have to come into here, site config, and this will be a extra yellow on the back. So yeah, that is now filling up all the redstone, and we should be crafting more of these enriched redstones now. I can throw that in there too. Sweet. And then we'll have up to 8 of them in stock on this interface, ready to be put into these infusing factories. That's pretty good. Okay, so now that's set up, we'll have to do the same thing for these other ones, but yeah, we should be able to use this carbon to make some steel. So let's take a look at making steel through Mekanism. So steel dust, or is it steel ingots? I can't remember. Steel ingots. I was looking at this. There's enriched iron, and then that turns into steel dust. Oh, I guess the recipe by Mekanism, that's in all the ores. I guess they kind of changed it for this particular mod pack. Well, anyway, that's what we want to make. So let's come over here. We'll make a recipe for enriched iron. So we take iron into charcoal, well, I guess using the carbon, and that makes enriched iron. So we will do this. Okay. And then that gets enriched iron, turns into steel dust. Get rid of that one. And there's that one. And then the steel dust, uses on that, gets smelted into steel ingots using a furnace. Okay. So now we have all the recipes that we need. Whoops. All the recipes that we need over here. So this is our carbon one. So we'll put that, and then over on our smelter, we'll put this one. Awesome. So now I should just be able to tell the system, hey, craft me 10 steel ingots. Okay, we have a little bit of steel. Let's craft 10 steel ingots. Right, so I need to change this recipe. We also have steel in here as another way. Steel. Why am I typing steel and it's not showing up? But when I craft it, oh, right, we're searching. Okay. Enriched iron. Yeah, we are making steel in a couple of different ways, and I am not sure why it is not showing up the other method. Is it in here somewhere and I'm just blind? We have iron dust, steel dust. We don't need this anymore. We don't need that because we have another way to make that. I think that should be all we need to do. So if I tell it to make steel again, 10 ingots. Yeah, there we go. So now we're making the steel dust, the enriched iron, and all of that. And we're doing that through the Mekanism method. I don't know why we're doing enriched carbon here. That's a little weird. There might be another thing that I have messed up on that. We'll have to take a look at that. So this is not working. I did see the recipe was doing something weird. Let's make sure we got the recipes all sorted. I'll fix that real quick. Right, so in here, this is doing a crafting pattern with an enriched carbon and a steel ingot. It's trying to craft these internally instead of doing a processing pattern. So this needs to be a processing pattern, and we don't put enriched carbon in there. So it should just be iron turns into the enriched iron if this pattern is put into the correct machine. So same thing with this one, I'm sure. Yeah, so this needs to be a processing pattern. We need to get rid of that and craft that. Okay, so if I put these back in the, well, let's put it into the right enriching factory over here. So if I put these into here and then tell it to do that same recipe again. This one, let's cancel this because that's never going to finish because that was wrong. Steel, if we tell it 10, now everything should work correctly. That looks better. So we've crafted the steel dust, and the steel dust needs to be smelted into the steel ingots. And again, there is another problem that I'm going to have to solve. Okay guys, so I want to show you something here. So we have the ability to take iron and turn it into enriched iron with this pattern through this machine. That works fine. We have the ability to take enriched iron and turn it into steel dust, which works fine if we do these separate. But if we queue up our machine over here to make steel and we tell it to make 10, right? We're going to take the enriched iron, we're going to turn it into steel. It's using the iron for that process. We're going to turn to steel ingots. If we do this, it breaks. So there is a reason for this, and I will show you what the problem is. So the reason why this is not working is because this pattern provider, which is providing the items, is touching another machine, this interface here, another inventory, I guess I should say. So it is pushing the items into this interface, which is going into this slot and going right back into our system. So right now, if we look in our applied Energistics system for enriched iron, we will see there is 10 of them. And that shouldn't be the case. That should be in the other machine processing. Yeah, so the way we fix that is we come over here. We break that machine. No, we don't actually do that. I broke the wrong block. We put that back. We'll put this pattern and this pattern. We break this block up here. And then we right-click the top of this with a wrench. That will put an arrow facing down, which indicates this interface will only push items to the machine below it. Okay, so that should solve our problem. We come back over here. Let's grab this enriched iron out of the system and we'll cancel this craft. Okay, so there is nothing craft. It says crafting stat. Oh, I guess I got another one. Okay, we'll get rid of that too. So if we craft 10 steel ingots now, and we take a look at things that are happening, now it's processing correctly. And now we have 10 steel ingots. Okay, there we go. So I just made a whole bunch of extra steel trying to debug that situation. Actually, let me make 10 more of that to get rid of that enriched iron. Yeah, so I just made a whole bunch of steel trying to debug that situation. But now we got it solved. And if you run into that same issue where, like, you know your patterns are correct, but your recipe isn't completing and your pattern provider is touching two different inventories, that's what you need to do, is make sure you get the little arrow that points down. And it is good practice just to have all of your interfaces by default. Instead of just pushing to any side, you should have the arrow pointing on the machine that they are intended to go into. All right, well, while we were working on this, we have our rich carbon and our rich redstone. I went ahead and I set up the diamond one. So yeah, we're making the enriched diamonds and this is all filled up, which is great. I wanted to work on the enriched obsidian. Let's just get this one knocked out as well. So in order to do that, we need to get ourselves refined obsidian dust, I do believe. Let's take a look at enriched. The enriched obsidian, this comes from, yeah, the refined obsidian dust, and that is with obsidian dust in the diamond one turned into the refined obsidian dust. So we need to make a few patterns here. So let's do this first. I made a pattern here for the universal pipe, so I can just craft those. In fact, I've gotten rid of all the other pipes in my pouch here. We're just going to use universal pipes going forward, because why not? Because why not? So enriched obsidian. So we'll make a recipe for this one. Or actually, no, we already have that recipe. That's already been made. We made that a while ago. So refined obsidian dust, we need that. That needs this recipe here. So we get rid of that, and this will be a processing pattern. Okay, so we're taking obsidian dust and we are turning it into refined obsidian dust. This goes into the diamond one, if I do remember correctly. That would be this one. Yeah, so obsidian dust goes into there, and then we need to make that obsidian dust. So if we click through this one, and I want to do the Mekanism obsidian dust, because that we can just put an obsidian piece in there to get 4 of this stuff, and that just makes more sense. Okay, and that's going to go into the crusher, right? That was a crusher that went into. Let me double check before I make the wrong thing. No, it's an enrichment chamber. Aha. Enrichment. Advanced smelting, enriching factory. Found it. Okay. So we can now make obsidian, refined obsidian dust. Let's try making 1. Is that going to work? Actually, no, it's already making, it's already auto crafting. Everything's already set up. Yeah, okay, yep. So because I set this up in the back over here, enriched obsidian, that kicked off this process. It's already starting to craft it because of the crafting card. And then I set up a destination over here. So yeah, enriched obsidian, we're already set up. That just required a couple of patterns here, putting the obsidian dust into this, and then setting up the one in the diamond one here. Yeah, the refined obsidian from the obsidian dust. Yeah, that just kicked off everything. Sweet. So everything is now working. We should be able to make all the way up to, what is that? The purple alloy things. I can't remember the name of them. What are those called? These get turned into, yeah, alloy. A-L-O-Y. Oh yeah, these right here, the atomic alloy. So yeah, we should be able to make those. We can set up a recipe for the refined ones and an infused alloy. We don't have any of these set up, so I think it's time that we get those alloys set up as well. So let's do that real quick. So there is the redstone one. We need the diamond one. Get rid of that stuff. And of course, the atomic one. And get rid of that. Awesome. So all of these just go over into the respective infusing factory here. So there's the redstone one in the redstone. Here's the diamond one. I'll replace those. Yeah. So there's the diamond one and this one. And finally, the reinforced one, or the atomic one. So I should be able to come over here and say make an atomic alloy. And it should just know how to make everything now. And then it's filling up more enriched obsidian and all that. And there we go, atomic alloy. Awesome. So that's going to allow us to go ahead and upgrade these machines to, well, the diamond tier next, and then the atomic tier after that. So I'm going to go ahead and make some tier installer patterns. Let me make more blank patterns. Yeah, I'm going to make some tier installer patterns. Yeah, so the elite one and then the ultimate one, so we can upgrade our machines to this tier. Then I gotta make patterns for all of these and all of this stuff. So let me just go ahead and do that and we'll be back. So upgrading these machines to the diamond tier and then the ultimate tier. Yeah, that's using roughly 2000 FE per tick, it looked like is what it was using. But yeah, all these machines now, we can process so much stuff at a time. Fantastic. Yep. And that only required just us setting up the mechanism auto crafting for these different enriched items and then setting up, well, I guess the different infused types coming back here, right? So it really wasn't that awful to do all of this stuff. And now that that's set up, we never have to worry about crafting that stuff manually again. Guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap the episode up here for today. Got a lot of stuff done, a little bit of show and tell at the start. Unfortunately, had that problem with my audio. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.